Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that likely impacted millions of you just this morning. I'm talking about the massive, worldwide outage that took down Microsoft's Azure cloud services and the entire Microsoft 365 suite. If you woke up and couldn't log into Teams, access your Outlook emails, or work on a Word doc saved in OneDrive, you were not alone. This wasn't just a minor hiccup, this was a digital earthquake. Let's break down what happened. Early this morning, reports started flooding in from all corners of the globe. From Tokyo to London to San Francisco, users were reporting that they were completely locked out of Microsoft's ecosystem. Down Detector, the go-to site for tracking these kinds of meltdowns, lit up like a Christmas tree, showing a massive spike in outage reports for Azure, Outlook, Teams, SharePoint, and basically every other service that relies on Microsoft's cloud infrastructure. Microsoft's own service health status page initially showed green across the board, which, as you can imagine, caused a lot of confusion and frustration. But soon after, they acknowledged the issue, citing a potential networking issue within their data centers. A few hours into the crisis, they updated their statement, confirming a widespread problem and saying their engineers were working around the clock to restore services. For businesses, schools, and governments that rely heavily on Microsoft's cloud, the day ground to a halt. It was a stark reminder of just how dependent we've become on these centralized cloud platforms. Think about it. Entire companies couldn't communicate, access critical files, or run their core business applications. The productivity loss from an outage like this is staggering, easily running into the billions of dollars globally. Now, what makes the timing of this outage particularly dramatic is that it happened just hours before Microsoft was scheduled to release its quarterly earnings report. You couldn't write a more theatrical script if you tried. Wall Street was on the edge of its seat, waiting to see Microsoft's performance, especially in its booming cloud division, Azure. Azure has been the golden child, a key driver of Microsoft's incredible growth, constantly competing neck and neck with Amazon Web Services for market dominance. So, how does a massive, public failure like this impact investor confidence right before such a crucial announcement? Analysts are already weighing in. Some argue that while the outage is embarrassing and costly, it's unlikely to have a long-term impact on Microsoft's stock. They point out that every major cloud provider, including Amazon and Google, has experienced similar large-scale outages. It's almost seen as a cost of doing business in the complex world of global cloud infrastructure. These systems are so incredibly vast and intricate that occasional failures are, unfortunately, inevitable. The key for investors is how quickly and transparently Microsoft handles the recovery and what steps they take to prevent it from happening again. On the other hand, some critics are saying this could be a major blow to Azure's reputation. When you're selling reliability and uptime as your core product, an outage of this magnitude is the worst kind of advertising. Companies that were on the fence about migrating to Azure, or even existing customers, might now be looking at competitors or considering a multi-cloud strategy to avoid putting all their digital eggs in one basket. This outage gives competitors a golden opportunity to swoop in and say, "See, this is why you need a more resilient, diversified setup." This could put a damper on the stellar growth numbers everyone was expecting to see from Azure in the earnings report. The narrative could shift from unstoppable growth to growing pains and reliability concerns. Let's dig a little deeper into the technical side of what might have gone wrong. While Microsoft's initial statements were vague, pointing to a networking issue, experts speculate it could be related to a BGP, or Border Gateway Protocol, misconfiguration. BGP is essentially the postal service of the Internet. It directs traffic and tells data how to get from point A to point B. If a BGP update goes wrong, it can make a huge part of the Internet, like Microsoft's entire network, simply disappear from the global map. We've seen this happen before with other tech giants. Another possibility is a failure in the DNS, the domain name system, which is like the Internet's phone book. If the DNS servers that translate names like Outlook, com into IP addresses go down, nothing works. Regardless of the root cause, the recovery process for an event this large is incredibly complex. It's not like flipping a single switch. Engineers have to carefully reroute traffic, restore configurations, and bring systems back online in a specific order to avoid causing a thundering herd problem where a flood of reconnection requests overloads the system all over again. This explains why, for many users, services flickered back on and off for hours. It's a delicate, high-stakes digital surgery being performed on a live system that serves billions. The human impact of this is also worth talking about. It's not just about corporate balance sheets. Hospitals using Microsoft systems for patient records faced critical challenges. Students couldn't attend online classes or submit assignments. Emergency services that use Teams for coordination had to revert to backup communication methods. This event underscores a fundamental vulnerability in our modern society. We've built a world that runs on the cloud, assuming it will always be there. But when it's not, the domino effect is immediate and widespread. It forces a tough conversation about digital resilience. Should critical public services have more robust, independent backup systems? Should companies be legally required to have a multi-cloud strategy to ensure continuity? Looking ahead, the fallout from this outage will be significant. First, expect a detailed postmortem from Microsoft in the coming days. They will be under immense pressure to provide a full, transparent explanation of what went wrong and, more importantly, what they are doing to ensure it never happens again. Their enterprise customers will demand not just apologies, but service credits and concrete assurances. Second, this will almost certainly accelerate the trend toward multi-cloud and hybrid cloud architectures. The idea of relying on a single vendor for all your critical infrastructure will seem much riskier today than it did yesterday. Smart CIOs across the world are probably already in meetings discussing how to de-risk their operations. And finally, back to the earnings call, it's going to be fascinating to see how CEO Satya Nadella and CFO Amy Hood address this. They can't ignore the elephant in the room. They will have to project confidence and control, reassuring investors and customers that they have the situation handled. Their ability to navigate this PR crisis will be just as important as the financial numbers they report. This outage isn't just a technical problem, it's a massive test of trust. Microsoft has spent decades building that trust, and now they have to work hard to maintain it. The question on everyone's mind is, was this a freak accident or a sign of deeper issues within the world's most valuable cloud? Only time will tell. What do you all think? Did this outage affect you personally or your business? Do you think this will damage Microsoft's reputation in the long run? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. It's a huge topic, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to stay updated on the biggest stories in tech, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and you won't miss our future videos. Stay safe online, and I'll see you in the next one.